ask you to picture great leadership, what kind of image will come into your mind? Would you imagine someone talk inspirationally, saying something like, never, never give up? Admittedly, leaders do always inspire others and take charge. However, today I'm going to introduce another type of leadership, a leader who bear in mind to listen and ask constructive questions. Good leader listen, learn, and then lead. You may ask, so what's the power of listening? Why is it important? To begin with, listening demonstrates people value others, demonstrate leaders to cherish their members. People don't care how much you know unless you show you care. Taking an example from my life, my mom, who loves me like no one else in the world, the way she expressed her love is by listening. Constantly, she listened to me and gave me suggestions. I feel respected and cherished by her patient. Secondly, listening is associated with personal impact. There is no need to mention the significance of personal impact for a successful business. Everyone are expected to be involved into group talking and speaking out. If a leader listens to the members of team, the action enables leaders with greater credibility and therefore reinforce the personal influence. The last but not least, learning is generated by listening. For team members, sometimes they just need to refine the situation and come up with a solution by themselves. Mary Kay Ash claims that listen long enough, people will eventually come up with the solution by themselves. For leaders, nothing is more satisfactory than watching team members figure out the situation by leaders' ear instead of leaders' words. Therefore, listening is definitely beneficial for the leaders. There are three types of listening. The first one is called internal listening. The listening is very limited and confined. The listener only focused on themselves while they are listening. The only question they bear in mind is, what does it mean to me? Neither they can be a good leaders or establish extended relationship. Moving on, the second stage is focused listening. In this case, the concentration shifts from themselves to other thought. It's a stage listening with emotional intelligence. Third one, which is eventual goal for most leaders, is called global listening. Leaders are able to read the room, read the atmosphere, and read the initiative behind the talking, and then ask constructive questions progressively. So these three stages take into account when we study the listening for leadership. Moving on, how can we be an efficient listener? How can we against talking too much and not listening enough? Firstly, avoiding interruption should be taken as priority. Never prioritize what you want to say and overwhelm others. People will feel that the only reason you allow them to talk is because you are going to talk next. If you listened, that informing the team members their thoughts stand in certain weight and their ideas will be taken into account for the whole decision for the team. Otherwise, they will go find somewhere else who listen to them and who cherish them. Secondly, leaders should jump from the zone that simply hear what pleased them. Instead, leaders should hear things they need to hear, even though something sharp. Leaders are out to encourage others to talk comprehensively. In this case, they are able to demonstrate the situation comprehensively and come up with an adequate solution. Taking an example from my life, my homestay, which I call her auntie, is a great leader in team club as well as at home. The way she perform the perfect leadership is by listening and ask constructive questions. Even though she knows the core issue ahead of time, she still encourages speaker to speak more. In this case, she can gather adequate information about the current situation, then define the reality frankly. In conclusion, the power of listening is definitely beneficial for leaders. To be a great leader, the prerequisite is to be a great listener. Listening is not particularly help listeners to learn, but also play an important role to help speaker to revolve themselves.